One of the reasons real estate agents don't cold call is because they're afraid of what the person on the other end is going to say, right? They're afraid of the rejection or the unknown. As someone that has been a professional salesperson for over 10 years and has made active prospecting part of my daily routine, I found there are 4 types of rejection that people will say to a real estate agent when they are prospecting the correct way, trying to show value, trying to be helpful, right? I thought by sharing the 4 types of rejection that are out there, kind of taking the unknown off the table, it might actually help some agents be a little more confident in the sales process and getting out there and prospecting, helping their business a little more. So with that being said, the first type of rejection that I wrote down is the hang up. This one's harmless, right? You start to share your value, the prospect immediately hangs up on you. Okay, no harm, no foul. This is usually pretty easy to take, usually pretty harmless. You move on to the next one. The second one is a little bit playful. The person is playful with you. Now this could happen in a few different ways, but at the end of the day, it's someone that's a little bit sarcastic. They're trying to have a little fun with you. They don't really want to engage with you or in terms of business, but they're just trying to have a little fun with someone when they cold call, because obviously we're not the only people that service that reaches out to them on a daily basis. So they'll be sarcastic with you. They'll engage in conversation. One of the really creative ones, I'm not, to this day, I'm not sure how it's done, but it's a pre-recorded message that they'll play. At some point in the conversation, they switch it to this pre-recorded message where it's this really crazy scenario that's happening, and they'll give these long pauses in this pre-recorded message where you, the cold caller, will just naturally talk if you think you're talking to a real person, and it'll take you down this long kind of crazy story of pre-recording, and at some point in time you realize, wait a second, I'm not talking to a real person anymore. And the first time I did this, I was really sucked into this script. Now over the years I've learned to identify this when it happens earlier, but I tip my hat to this, to the people that do this. It's really a creative way to have fun with a salesperson. So I find that one humorous. So the first 2 are really harmless. One's kind of humorous. The other's a quick, no, let's all move on with our day. The other 2, one of them is, the only harmful one is what I call the mean person. They're number 3. The mean person they're aggressive. They will swear at you. They will try to, you could hear it in their voice, they're trying to injure you with their words. And it's really not, when this happens, it's not about you. It's not about us. We caught this person on a bad day. And, we've all had bad days, and I'm sure said things to others that we're not proud of. And we've caught this particular individual in this situation. Now, what I will say, this mean, harmful person, they're trying to be aggressive with their words, swearing, saying something really mean. This is not the norm. This is a one-off. This may happen, once every couple months, if that, once a quarter. Like, it's not something that is happening daily if you're a salesperson actively making helpful calls. If you're presenting value and truly trying to be helpful, this is not something that happens a lot. This is like, oops, you caught someone on a bad day. So I would not expect this. And when it does happen, apologize, empathize, don't pour fuel on the fire in that situation. Don't become defensive. Try to understand that person is really going through a bad day, and we reached out to them. They didn't ask us to call. So that's not the norm. Don't let that one scare you off. The third one is the amiable, friendly person. And honestly, this one could be the most dangerous, and not in a bad way, just from a time-consuming way. Now, the amiable, friendly person, they don't want to be mean to you. So even though they don't want your service, sometimes they'll actually lead you on and tell you to call back at certain days or times, or that maybe they'll work with you down the road. They don't want to work with you. They just don't know how to tell you no. So why this is actually, I think, one of the hardest calls, because as a salesperson, sometimes you don't know if they're serious or not, and you're spending a lot of time trying to follow up and do what you said you're going to do. And oftentimes they won't pick up. They'll ghost you when they told you to call. So this can be honestly the most time-consuming form of rejection. You see the amiable person, they're friendly, it's going to be a good conversation. They just don't know how to tell you they don't need your service. So sometimes they'll lead you on a little bit versus just tell you no, right? So I'll take the hang up all day over the amiable. I'll take the sarcastic, funny one. Let's add a little humor to our day. That feels good for everybody, right? That keeps me in good spirits. The mean, harmful one, don't be shied off by that. It only happens once in a while. And the amiables, watch out for them. I like to tell them, listen, it's okay. Listen, no hard feelings. I won't call you back if you don't want me to. If you tell me to call you back, I will every time. But if you think it's just not the right time, that's okay. You can tell me that right now. Like, give them the opportunity to let you off the hook so that you're not just following up, preparing materials for them when they really are not interested. So prospecting in general, cold calling, whatever you want to call it, if you're providing value, there's nothing to be afraid of. None of these forms of rejection should be anything that stop you from, trying to grow your business, trying to help others. Because if you're just sitting there waiting for the phone to ring, you're going to be out of business very fast. It's our job as professional real estate agents to find listings for our clients, to search for buyers for our listings, and vice versa. Not to just sit there and wait for the phone to ring. And the best thing about that, not only are we helping our clients by prospecting daily, we're actually growing our business as well. Hope this helps.